Hey, ho, ho, ho! It's Christmas week. It's Wednesday, December 23rd, 2 days before Christmas. Today we're going to talk about paradigm shifts in your holidays. A paradigm shift would be something like, last year or in the past you have not been married, or you were and not, but you are again. Or you were married and now you're not married. Or there's been a death, an illness in the family. Or some important person, somebody in your family is separated, be it, out of town on business, out of town, maybe, in the National Guard, maybe in Iraq or Iran, or, they wouldn't be in Iran, but they would be in Afghanistan, or in service of some sort, someplace away from you. The marriage and the divorce is kind of complicated. The marriage part is easy because if suddenly you're married, the complication is the fact that now suddenly you have more things going on. You really have to be careful about getting too locked into a plan. You have to have flexibility. You have to, it's a giving time, not a having time. If you keep that in mind, if you realize that Christmas is all about giving not just gifts, and the gifts are probably the least important part of it. The most important part of it is the act of giving of yourself, giving your time, giving your love, giving, a food item you made, or some aspect of giving. The death and illness is a tough one. If somebody is ill right now, in fact, I know some people who, for some reason, and maybe it's the self-imposed stress, the self-imposed anxieties, and the fear and things that people put upon themselves, but there tends to be a lot of illness at Christmas time. Grandma and grandpa, somebody has a stroke, somebody dies, it's pretty amazing how much of that's going on. Unbelievably how much of that's going on. If you've had some recent deaths, or maybe even some older deaths that just happen to affect Christmas time for you. An interesting approach that might be for Christmas dinner. Everybody's there, Uncle Joe is missing, your brother is missing, your sister is missing, somebody is missing. Set their place. But when it comes time, plan the meal so that you can have a toast. And you toast to them. But at that point, maybe have everybody have a reminiscent story of something about that person. And ideally maybe Christmas specific would be really neat. Maybe something funny they did at Christmas, or a gift they've given that was funny, or something to make them alive in everybody's mind, very positive, so that everybody gets to share. And maybe the kids should be around because that person's not around anymore. They need to hear these stories. I had, uncles that were amazingly wonderful men, big drinkers around the holiday. Well, big drinkers in any excuse they had. But nonetheless, this might be a situation where you can share these stories so that, your immortality has to do with how long your memory survives. It has nothing to do with when you die. You don't really die until you are forgotten. So if you, spend a few minutes and talk about this person, reminisce about this person, funny stories, whatever you want to do, it will more than likely make that situation less uncomfortable. Because everybody's going to have, especially if it's a recent death, there's going to be a lot of, discomfort. People are going to feel, there's going to be some hurting. But if you have an opportunity to tell some wonderful stories about, grandma, uncle, mom, dad, whoever, and have everybody contribute if they want, you might find it's an interesting solution. Illness is a little more complicated because there may be somebody in the hospital. So, everybody's worried about that person. Once again, this may work. Just funny stories about the person, since they're not, ideally not dead, or maybe it may be a tragic situation. I don't know the situation. It's something you're going to have to work with, but it's really too easy to forget people, and to, you're not going to put them out of your mind. If somebody has recently died, they're there. So you might as well celebrate the fact, celebrate their life at Christmas. Relive things that took place. You'll find how amazing that can be. Separation of loved ones. That can be really complicated. I have been at family gatherings where there's been a couple people missing. And what typically winds up happening is somebody gets a speakerphone and you contact that person and you talk to them while the group is there. That is like so amazing. If they're in Iraq, if they're in Afghanistan, if they're in the armed forces, might be more complicated, maybe not. I don't know. I mean, this is something, you got a couple of days to put this thing together. So I don't know the process, but it may be something worth, assign that to somebody in the family to see if we can figure out how to make contact with, with Johnny who's in, Afghanistan, or Johnny who's in, wherever he might be. My ex-sister-in-law's husband has been deployed, and I, on Facebook I've been reading some of her stuff, and it's tough for her. She's got kids, we're coming into the Christmas holidays, and it's tough. And something like that could be amazing, especially for the whole family, where they all can, just talk even for 2 or 3 minutes to that person. It would make a miraculous difference. So maybe somebody should take it upon themselves to try that. I'm going to leave it at that today. There could be other aspects. There could be other things. There's financial issues. Maybe you're in a situation where you've just lost your house, and it's not such a good Christmas. Well, if you go to my motivational drive-by and you go to the beginning of the month, there's 3 parts by a guy who has no arms and no legs. I can't remember his name, but he is absolutely amazing. I don't care how bad you have it, there's always somebody out there who has it worse. Always. So, it's every single day, it's a count your blessings kind of thing. You wake up in the morning, when you go to bed at night, you realize that, you've got something, and you've got to cherish that. I've got a piece that I'll be doing, or I just did. Basically, the gist of it is if you can be happy with what you have, you will always be happy. If you're always striving, if I get that better car, that better house, the more beautiful wife, the better job, the better promotion. If you're always looking for the next step up, you will never ever, be happy. This is the time of year, once again, that Christmas state of mind. I don't care what religion you are, it's a state of mind. Find it into yourself to be happy. You can do it. As always, have the most spectacular, amazing, stupendous day. And I'll see you tomorrow, Thursday, the 24th, Christmas Eve.